sponsorship for this program is provided by Rockies Activewear. Rockies, the backbone of the country. Available at a national sports center near you.
The Metro Junior Hockey League regular season is fast coming to a close, and for Coach Arnie Brown and his Henry Carr Crusaders, the timing is perfect. Winners of 4 straight and 12 of their last 13 games, the Crusaders are red hot and peaking nicely with playoff hockey on the horizon. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Happy, and this is the Graham Cable 10 Rockies Activewear Game of the Week. Tonight from the Weston Lions Arena in Weston, it's the Henry Carr Crusaders versus the Kingston Voyageurs. This will be the 4th and final meeting of the season between these two Metro Junior Hockey League teams. The Henry Carr Crusaders sporting a 2-0-1 record versus the Voyageurs. This will be the second game at Weston Lions Recreation Arena. The previous result, a 5-all-time. And we're just about ready to get underway. In fact, we are underway here at Weston Lions Arena as the Voyageurs quickly clear it into the Henry Carr zone. Palante will flip it up on the boards. And here come the Crusaders up along the right wing. Over the line, knocking it into the near corner are the Crusaders on the attack already. The Crusaders, as I mentioned, winners of 4 straight and 12 of their last 13 games. The hottest team in the Metro Junior Hockey League. The Kingston Voyageurs, a pretty good team in their own right. Only 14 skaters dressed tonight, along with 2 goaltenders. They are hurting. They have some injury problems. They are standing second place in the Bauer division with 20 wins, 9 losses, and 11 ties. It's good for 51 points. They are well back, 14 back of the Wexford Raiders in the Bauer division, but their goal is to hang on to second place with 4 games remaining in the regular season. And we'll get into that, the reasoning behind that a little later. They've got a good little lead on Oshawa and Wellington, but they have a very tough schedule, whereas Oshawa and Wellington have a comparably easier schedule. Here's the Voyageurs' chance in front, centering attempt knocked away by the Henry Carr Crusaders, and they bring it out over the line, clearing it to center. Flip back in, just hits the top of the glass behind the net, and that's Mario Montanaro back for the Crusaders. Montanaro starting up in the left wing, finds Petroza. Frank Petroza at center, at the line, clearing it into the corner. That will carry behind the net. In goal for the Kingston Voyageurs is Jason Chipman. Voyageurs up to center, intercepted by the Crusaders, and this is Jimmy Izzard. Izzard bringing it over the line. He's got Stewart with him. Hard shot, and Chipman will clear that into the corner. Jeff Carlton follows up in front again. The Crusaders putting on the pressure. Stewart stops, looking for the man in front. There it is, another shot, and big save by Chipman. Carlton in the corner. The Voyageurs will get it and finally clear it out into neutral ice, but knocked right back in by number 26, Palante. That's one of the 2 Palante brothers, Rob, for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Kingston with it now at center. Checked, and here's Stewart with a nice check. Shot from the left side, and that's steered aside. Into the corner it goes. Carlton will go after it. And the Voyageurs take possession, and they'll bring it to center. Cleared to the line, but stopped by number 21, Sean Reed. Back to Stewart, leaving it for Izzard, and here come Izzard and Carlton. Izzard into the corner. Carlton in front. Throws it in front. Carlton behind the net. Jeff Carlton, the former Richmond Hill Ram, battling in the corner. Leaves it for Izzard. Izzard will throw it in front, and now here come the Kingston Voyageurs. Out to center, but absolutely no further as Rob Mikolev will send it ahead. Mikolev taking it at center. Mikolev stripped of the puck, and the Voyageurs finally get a break. Over the line come the Voyageurs. There's a shot off a leg into the corner, where Kyle Merkley will take it and clear it around to the boards. Kept into the line, shot knocked down by the Crusaders, and they'll clear it to center. With 17:27 remaining in this first period, no score, Henry Carr and the Kingston Voyageurs. Paul Reed, the goaltender tonight for the Henry Carr Crusaders, leaving it for Rob Mikolev. Up in the right wing, too far for Justin Pika. Now Sean Reed takes it, fights off a check to center, off the boards. Stopped at the line by the Voyageurs, and the Voyageurs will try and bring it out. Long left wing pass carries into the Henry Carr zone. Sean Reed back for Mark Palumbo. Palumbo finds Kyle Merkley, and Merkley gets up on the right side for Pika. There's a shot off an ankle, and this is Brad Dexter with it for Kingston. Up on the left side for Chris Hunt. Chris Hunt started the season with the Peterborough Petes, has been returned to the Kingston Voyageurs. Chris Hunt, number 9 for the Voyageurs. Intercepted by Pika. Pika at the line, shovels it into the corner, taken out of the play by Hunt. Henry Carr changing on the fly now as Kingston will start out of their own end. No score. Early first period action here at the Weston Lions Recreation Arena, home of the Henry Carr Crusaders, as Pallanti brings it out. Pallanti over the line, leaving it there for Buskey into the corner, and Brad Dexter will take over for Kingston. Dexter, right wing. Knocked back in by Henry Carr. Palumbo clearing it in as Jason Chipman will go back to stop. Chipman, the goaltender. Puck up on the right side now. Montanaro attempts to keep it in. The Voyageurs take possession, and they'll just flip it into the Henry Carr zone with Montanaro going back. Puck out over the line now. Back to number 4, Nate Bowles. Bowles clears it in, and Montanaro takes possession. Flipped right back into the Henry Carr zone, and Kingston having real trouble getting any kind of offensive foray going into the Henry Carr zone. Henry Carr very effective moving the puck, dominating the play to this point. Here's a loose puck in front, though. Close tries. It rolls through the crease. There's a shot right on, and Reed will make his first big save of the game off the stick of Nate Bowles from the right point. Puck along the boards. Players looking for a whistle. Dug out now. Here's a chance in front. Moving. Loose puck. There's a shot just wide on the far side. Picked up in the corner. Another chance in front, and Paul Reed will cover up as the Kingston Voyageurs buzzing all around his net. That was number 8, Brad Rousseau, and number 19, Jason Dexter, with some good close-in chances for the Kingston Voyageurs. Kingston Voyageurs have 3 of the 3 top scorers in the Metro Junior Hockey League. 2 of them are dressed tonight. Mike Taylor wearing number 7. He's centering a line with Richard Beaubien on the right side and number 17, Jason Hogel, on the left side. In fact, that line is out now for the Kingston Voyageurs. Taylor gets the draw, kept into the line, but brought back out and back in on the offside, so that faceoff will come outside the line with 15:05 remaining in the first period. No score, Henry Carr and the Kingston Voyageurs. Mike Taylor with 30 goals, 70 assists, 100 points, leading the Metro Junior Hockey League in scoring. His teammate Marcel Richard, not dressed tonight. He's been out with an ankle injury for the past 3 weeks. He has 88 points on 45 goals and 48 assists. Actually, that would be 38 assists for 88 points. While with 27 goals and 54 assists, 81 points, Jason Dexter wearing number 19 tonight for the Kingston Voyageurs. 3 top scorers in the Metro Junior Hockey League. Puck brought in over the line by Taylor. Banged off the boards and behind the net as the Crusaders will take over now. This is Rob Mikolev starting out. Mikolev gets it up to Frank Petroza at center. Petroza over the line, fights off a check, but brings it in on the offside. Getting set to take the face-off now, just outside the Kingston Voyageur. Remaining in the first period. Paul Reed will clear it to center at the blue line. Here's Frank Petroza with it. Petroza clearing it into the Kingston zone as Jason Chipman will stop it. Chipman leaving it for number 8, Brad Rousseau, clearing it up on the left side, and the Voyageurs will attempt to bring it out. Here they have a 2-on-1 now. 2-on-1 Kingston. Convery over the line, getting it to Clark, and Clark digs it out of the corner, throws it in front. Wayne Clark with it, number 15, clearing it back to the point, but that's knocked down by the Henry Carr player, and the Crusaders' Peter Miller down the left wing will bring it out. Peter Miller, number 19, University of Toronto student, playing for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Play whistled down, and the Kingston 13:48 remaining in the first period. The game of the week will not be seen next week. In its place will be Cable 10 Telethon for York Community Services. YCS offers health, legal, and social care for those in York who need it. And with your support, they'll be able to continue to offer these services. So watch the YCS Telethon Sunday, February 25th, noon to 8 o'clock, right here on Graham Cable 10. Puck rolls out over the blue line into neutral ice. Voyageurs will pick it up. Taken out along the boards there by... That was Sean Reed administering the check on number 11, Derek McNair of the Kingston Voyageurs. Glenn Stewart has the puck knocked off his stick as the Voyageurs will bring it over the line now. That's Derek McNair in front, number 11, along the boards. Sean Reed goes down, clearing it to the line, but not out. Kept in by Jamie Edwards. Edwards, long shot deflected And Reed had to be sharp to make that save. Paul Reed in the Henry Carr net. Teams changing on the fly. Puck cleared out to center. That's Jeff Carlton knocking it back into the Kingston zone. Cross ice pass. Voyageurs bring it out now. Puck at center. Over the line. Cleared into the far corner. Jeff Carlton. Carlton bangs it off the boards. That one nearly hit the referee. Referee tonight is... Oh, we'll get that information for you in a second. We do have it. Justin Pika with it. Pika over the line as he gets it ahead to Glenn Stewart. Stewart stood up nicely, and that's Jason Chipman covering up in the goal for the Kingston Voyageurs. Referee for tonight's game is Dean Warren. The linesmen are Steve McNarty and Dave Stenhouse. There's a look at the Henry Carr Crusaders bench. Winners of 12 of their last 13 games. A truly remarkable record in recent months for the Henry Carr Crusaders, peaking just as the playoffs approach. 5 games remaining for the Henry Carr Crusaders after tonight's game versus Kingston. They stand first place in the Poland division, a 4-point lead over the Thornhill Thunderbirds, 55-51. Thunderbirds do have 1 game in hand. Loose puck in front, they whack at it. Pika took a shot at it. They score and make it 1-0 Henry Carr Crusaders. Score point, most likely Justin Pika, number 15, possibly Kyle Merkley. A lot of players in front of the net there whacking at the puck. We'll just wait for the official announcement. It's 1-0 Carr over Kingston with 12:05 remaining first period. That goal coming at 7:55. Puck brought into the Henry Carr zone. Paul Reed will leave it there. As that's Rob Palani clearing it up on the left side. Back into the Carr zone. Banged off the boards by Mario Montanaro and carrying into the Kingston zone. And there's another goal by the Crusaders as we're getting the official announcement on the first one. 2-0 the score now. Justin Pika, we believe, has been given credit for the first Henry Carr goal. Of the first period. It's only 36 seconds separating the 2 goals. 2-0 the score. Henry Carr over the Kingston Voyageurs as this is John Johnson taking the draw for Henry Carr. Johnson gets it back to Rob Mikola. Mikola cross ice for Sean Reed. Reed will have to go back for it. Reed to Mikola. Mikola steps out now, gets it up on the right side for Johnson. Good burst of speed. Johnson checked to the line. Following up into the corner is Mike Buskey. Back to the point and out as the Voyageurs in pursuit. That's Sean Reed clearing it ahead. Picked up now by Mike Buskey, number 28. Buskey will throw it forward. Second Henry Carr goal. We didn't hear the official announcement. We will bring you up to date in the first intermission or following the first period. 2-0 to score as Mikolov brings it over the line. Mikolov checked. He'll hammer it in front, and Jason Chipman will hang on to that one. 10:28 remaining here in the first period. 2-0 to score. This Metro Junior Hockey League game of the week. Henry Carr Crusaders versus the Kingston Voyageurs. Let's take a look at the scratches for tonight's game. Not dressed for the Henry Carr Crusaders is number 11, Todd Blackman. Blackman came to the Crusaders from the Cornwall Royals of the Ontario Hockey League. He injured his hand in the game last Friday, February 9th versus the Markham Connection. So this is the second straight game he's sat out. Apparently the hand is broken. It's cracked. He was looking at putting it in a cast on yesterday, but Coach Arnie Brown says that Blackman is probably a week to 2 weeks away. So Todd Blackman, he had been playing very well for the Henry Carr Crusaders, speaking to Arnie Brown before the game, coming over from the Cornwall Royals. He's been playing good, strong positional play, plays the body, good, rough, tough positional player in this Henry Carr Crusader lineup. But they'll miss him tonight. However, they continue to lead 2-0 to score with 10:08 remaining here in the first period. Puck into the Kingston zone. Cleared up now, banged off the boards. This is number 27, bringing it over the line. There's a shot. Frank Petroza, number 27, just wide on the far side. And the Kingston Voyageurs will bring it to center. Over the line, here they come. Stood up with the line and brought down. Penalty has been signaled by Dean Warren. Penalty coming up to the Henry Carr Crusaders. So this will be the first power play of the game with 9:38 remaining in the first period. We'll get a look at the Kingston Voyageurs power play. Tripping, I believe, will be the call. As it looks like a Kingston player is also going to the penalty box. It's number 26 for the Crusaders, Rob Pallanti, stepping into the box, as well as the Kingston player. The Kingston player, number 8, Brad Rousseau, left winger, playing on the line with Jason Dexter and Derek McNair. Dexter, the center there. So 2 Henry Carr players actually in the box, and 1 Kingston Voyageur. So Kingston will have the manpower advantage, 5 skaters to 4, with the face-off coming up in the Henry Carr zone to the right of goaltender Paul Reed. Paul Reed has played 58 periods of Metro Junior Hockey League action this year. He's given up 64 goals for a 3.27 goals against average. The starting goaltender tonight for the Crusaders, MJHL All-Star Jamie Ram on the bench, is his backup. Voyageurs get the face-off back at the point for Brad Dexter. He'll clear it into the corner for Jason Dexter. Here's Brad Dexter working it over the other point. There's a shot looking for the deflection in front, just wide of Mike Taylor's stick. Taylor digs it out, fakes it. Picked up by Sean Reed now behind the net, and Sean Reed will clear it to the line and just out as Jeff Molfina, number 18, attempted to keep it in, but not quite. Face-off will come outside the Henry Carr zone. Kyle Merkley will take the tries out there with Jimmy Izzard, Rob Mikolev, and Sean Reed, the defenseman. Actually, Izzard goes to the bench. The Crusaders with 3 skaters. As the Crusaders will clear it into the Kingston zone, Jeff Molfina is back for it. He's out there with number 2, Brad Dexter, the other defenseman. Molfina will leave it, and bringing it out on the right side, knocked down, though. Back up and clearing it to the Henry Carr line where Sean Reed will pick it up. That's Mike Taylor, number 7, and number 19, Jason Dexter. Taylor, number 1, and Dexter, number 3 in Metro Junior Hockey League overall scoring. Kingston with the top 3 scorers in the league. Taylor has 100 points and Dexter 81. Phenomenal scoring stats for these 2 guys, and more on these 2 players later. They're both moving on to bigger and better things next year. Specifically scholarship offers in the NCAA loop, but more on that coming up in the broadcast. As this is Jason Dexter, team captain, bringing it over the line, driving the net, taking it behind the net, checked by Mikolev. Dexter still has it, though. Back for Molfina at the point. Molfina will take the shot, goes off his stick, high into the rafters, and play whistled down with 8:04 remaining in the first period and 26 seconds remaining in the 3 penalties, 2 to the Crusaders and 1 to the Kingston Voyageurs. Kingston, as I mentioned earlier, with 14 skaters tonight. Henry Carr has a full bench of 18 skaters, so Kingston have been hurting. They've got a few guys out with injuries. Marcel Richard, the 2nd leading scorer in the league, he's out with an ankle injury. He's been out for 3 weeks, but still retaining that 2nd overall standing in the league scoring leaders. Back at the point now for Jamie Edwards. Edwards to Taylor, looking for the man in front. Here's a chance. Cleared behind the net, Jason Dexter with it. Dexter looking to set up, gets it back at the point. Molfina to the net. Taylor with it beside the net, behind the net now. Taylor in front, loose puck. Taylor takes it behind the net again, taken out of the play by Mark Palumbo. Dexter clearing it. Dexter back at the point. Edwards with the wrist shot, and that's knocked down by Mark Palumbo, and he'll clear it the length of the ice as the penalties have expired, and that will be brought back on the icing. With 7:32 remaining in the first period, 2-0 the score. The Henry Carr Crusaders on top of the Kingston Voyageurs. The Crusaders looking for their 5th straight win, winners of 12 of their last 13 games. Bring you up to date on the Kingston Voyageurs. Their head coach and general manager, Kevin Abrams, telling me before the game, well, with the injuries, they're not playing as well as they were earlier in the season. A great record, 29-11, but it's basically been win one, lose one in recent games. Kingston coming into Weston Lions Recreation Arena this evening following a 4-4 tie with the Mimico Monarchs at the Kingston Arena last night. So a long ride for them here to Weston Lions Arena for this evening's game. Voyageurs with it along the boards, clearing it. Petroza will clear it to the line. Up on the right side now, Peter Miller takes it for Henry Carr. Poke check, regains it, leaves it for Petroza. He'll skate for it. Kept in at the line now by Mikula. Mikula finds the man in front. There's a shot, big save, rebound, they score. And the Henry Carr Crusaders up their lead to 3-0. That goal coming at the 13:03 mark of the first period. So the Henry Carr Crusaders establishing a puck control game early, and it's paid off for them. They now have a 3-0 lead over the Kingston Voyageurs. 2-0-1 versus the Voyageurs. They've already clinched the season series between the two teams and looking to make it an undefeated mark versus Kingston this season. Henry Carr with 5-3 and 5-4 victories in Kingston, and a 5-all tie, the result of the game here at the Weston Lions Arena. Last two times these teams met was January 25th at the Center 70 Arena in Kingston. 5-3 was the score for Henry Carr. Henry Carr goal. Well, John Pallanti has got credit for the third Henry Carr goal, with Frank Petroza drawing the first assist. We'll have a complete first period scoring summary coming up for you after the period. 3-0 the score. Loose puck at center now as the Crusaders will take it again. This is Sean Reed bringing it to the line. He's all tied up in knots, wrestled to the ice, and that will be called. Referee Dean Warren signaling a penalty on the Kingston Voyageur player there. He had Sean Reed, the kingpin of this Henry Carr defense, all tied up in knots, as that's number 20 for the Kingston Voyageurs, Richard Beaubien, the right winger, going to the penalty box. So Henry Carr will get their first power play of the game. Kingston 0 for 1 thus far on the power play. Justin Pika with it at the line. There's the shot to the net. Chipman the save, and he'll cover up on the rebound, not taking any chances at all. And that will kill a few seconds in the penalty. .13:51, the time of the holding call on number 20, Richard Beaubien, as the Henry Carr Crusaders on the power play now face off to the left of Jason Chipman, the Kingston goaltender. Carr gets the draw. It's Kyle Merkley winning the draw, getting it back at the point to Rob Pallanti. Justin Pika's working the other point. Here's Pallanti clearing it into the corner. Following up on the play is Kyle Merkley. Merkley with it beside the net, in front, leaving it there in front. Loose puck, they bang at it, but Kingston will pick it up and clear it out over the line. John Pallanti back for it. Pallanti to Pika. Pika will bring it at center now. Long shot into the far corner. That's Jeff Carlton with it. Leaving it for Kyle Merkley. Merkley back at the point to Pallanti. Pallanti crosses it to Pika. Pika into the corner. Takes the hit from Mike Taylor. behind the net. Here's a chance in front, backhand, and Chipman will make the save as they rough it up in front of the net now. And down goes the Henry Carr player, down goes a Kingston player, and it's turned into a bit of a free-for-all. The gloves are off, there goes a helmet flying, and they're all getting into it now. That's Mike Taylor swinging a hard left at somebody. The goaltender's even into it. Jason Chipman has a man along the boards. See Mike Taylor, number 7 there for the Kingston Voyageurs on the outside of the scrum. That's Jeff Carlton and the goaltender Jason Chipman exchanging pleasantries as linesman Stenhouse comes over to separate the two combatants. And Pallanti takes a shove at one of the Kingston players, and now it's erupted again. Pallanti, something angering him, as that's John Pallanti, number 26, and this has gotten right out of control now. John Pallanti struggling with an unidentified Kingston player. There it is, number 21, Jamie Edwards, and we have another bout in the corner. That's Mike Taylor with Natalie Macri, number 16 for the Crusaders. It's become fight night here at the Weston Lions Recreation Arena. There was a hockey game going on, 3-0 the score. Henry Carr on top of Kingston, and the main event seems to be in the corner now. Difficult to see who's fighting as the sweaters are being pulled over their heads. But the linesmen certainly with their work cut out for them here, Steve McNarty and Dave Stenhouse. And this has been dragging on for several minutes, getting a little tiresome at this point. But there you see Chipman, the goaltender, still trying to get at Carlton. And Steve McNarty, well, he's just going to let him go. McNarty says, if you guys want it bad enough, go for it. And can't help but wonder if Chipman will remain in the game. The backup goaltender tonight is Brent Conbury, number 30. I imagine there's going to be some game misconducts handed out here. The linesmen have been successful in bringing most of the players back to their respective benches. There are still 3 Kingston players, there you see them, in the vicinity of the fight, or as the Henry Carr players, except for Carlton there, who you see in your picture, have returned to their bench. And now Carlton heading over to the bench, and finally things seem to have quieted down. All this coming at the 14:40 mark of the first period, with Henry Carr on top 3-0 in just over a minute remaining in their power play. And Carlton will be going to the dressing room. Saw him duck into the corridor. So I imagine Dean Warren will be taking some time sorting out these penalties. There's a look at Sean Reed, or rather Paul Reed, the Henry Carr goaltender, so far nursing a shutout. This game almost 15 minutes old. Take a look at the Henry Carr scoring stats. They've been on a real tear. 4 straight wins, 12 wins in the past 13. Glenn Stewart is the offensive leader through 36 games. 34 goals, 37 assists, 71 points. And right behind him, another Metro Junior Hockey League All-Star, Jimmy Izzard, with 69 points through 38 games, 24 goals, and 45 assists. And Izzard, of course, has played in all of the Henry Carr games, 38 games, where they stand now with 6 remaining in this 44-game Metro Junior Hockey League season. Justin Pica with 50 points through 30 games stands third. He's got 20 goals to go with that. Kyle Merkley has 45. Frank Petroza with 44. John Johnson and Natalie Macri with 40 points apiece, rounding out the top 7 scorers for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Those guys all scoring at better than a point a game. Also at better than a point a game defenseman Dave Casson, whom I haven't seen tonight. I don't believe he's playing. He's got 27 points in 24 games on the Henry Carr defense, wearing the number 4. Jamie Reed with that 2.8. Jamie Ram with a 2.89 goals against average, the backup goaltender tonight, and Paul Reed 3.27 average, the starting goaltender tonight. Ram and Reed, Arnie Brown has been rotating the 2 goalies almost evenly this season. Very little to choose between the two in terms of ice time. Ram has played in 56 periods and Reed for 58 periods, and of course getting the call tonight. Now we're talking about 3 of the some of the players on the Kingston Voyageurs earlier, and specifically Mike Taylor, the injured second leading scorer in the league. Marcel Richard and Jason Dexter. Now, Mike Taylor, all three of these guys, Taylor, Dexter, and Richard, are destined for NCAA teams next season. Mike Taylor will be playing with the Northeastern Huskies out of Boston in the Hockey East Conference, while Jason Dexter will be playing for a Hockey East rival, the University of New Hampshire Wildcats. So those two players, Taylor and Dexter, will be facing each other in Hockey East action, NCAA, next season, while Marcel Richard, second leading scorer in the Metro Junior Hockey League, he will be playing with the Colgate Red Raiders of the ECAC conference, the Eastern ECAC conference in the NCAA. So Taylor, Dexter, and Richard, the three top scorers in the Metro Junior Hockey League, all on their way to play in the NCAA next season. So good luck to those guys. And another guy of interest on the Kingston Voyageurs is number 16, Convery. Now, he's got to be the youngest guy on the ice, Brandon Convery. He's 15 years old, and Coach Kevin Abrams telling me that he's a cinch to be a top pick, a top underage pick in the OHL underage draft coming up later this year, and very likely will wind up as a 16-year-old with an Ontario Hockey League team. So we'll watch for him, number 16, Brandon Convery. Also of interest in this Kingston lineup, number 11, Derek McNair. He's playing on the right side. He was a third-round pick of the Kingston Frontenacs of the Ontario Hockey League in 1989 and may yet wind up in their lineup. Derek McNair, number 11. And Jason Chipman, the goaltender, who was involved in the fight. I somehow doubt we're going to see Chipman back in this game, but Chipman, a graduate of the Toronto Red Wings, now playing for these Kingston Voyageurs. And finally, Chris Hunt, number 9, lining up on the left wing tonight for the Kingston Voyageurs. Started the season with the Peterborough Petes. They have since returned him to Kingston, caught in the numbers games, but I imagine Hunt is looking forward to getting back in that OHL lineup next season. So they're still sorting out the penalties here at Weston Lions Recreation Arena. 3-0 the score, Henry Carr Crusaders on top of the Kingston Voyageurs. We just endured approximately a 10-minute brawl, and now here's the announcement. We'll try and pick this up for you. Well, all told, 6 players have been thrown out of the game, 3 on the Kingston Voyageurs and 3 for the Henry Carr Crusaders, and Jason Chipman, the Kingston Voyageurs goaltender, is one of them. He was assessed 2 minutes roughing, 5 fighting, and a game misconduct, a double game misconduct, and a 5-minute fighting penalty to number 7, Mike Taylor. So the Metro Junior Hockey League's leading scorer is out of the game. And number 21, Jamie Edwards for the Voyageurs, also out of the game. He's got a double game misconduct of 5 minutes for fighting. Gone from the Henry Carr lineup are Jeff Carlton, Natalie Macri, and Kyle Merkley. There was one other Carr player penalized. I believe he only got the fourth guy that I didn't catch his name. I believe he only got 2 minutes for charging. But anyway, these other 3, Carlton, Macri, and Kyle Merkley, are all out of the game. Carlton, 2 for charge, 5 for fighting, a game misconduct, whereas Macri and Merkley both assessed 5 for fighting each and double game misconduct. So that will knock the Kingston Voyageurs down to 12 skaters and 1 goaltender. And nobody wants to lose their starting goaltender, but I guess in the case of the Kingston Voyageurs, considering the limited number of skaters they have, losing a goaltender is not as bad as it might seem. So now in goal for Kingston would be the backup goaltender, number 30, Brent Convery, the backup for tonight anyway, and Convery handles the puck there, making the stop, and he'll pounce on it with 5:06 remaining here in the first period. 3-0 the score. Henry Carr Crusaders on top of the Kingston Voyageurs. So referee Dean Warren cracking right down following that brouhaha. 6 players ejected, and of note, Mike Taylor, the league's leading scorer. So Taylor history as his goaltender Jason Chipman and defenseman Jamie Edwards. That'll knock Kingston down to 3 defenders. So those guys are going to get a lot of ice time. 8 forwards is all they have left. There's a chance behind the net. Bringing a front backhand, trying to shovel it in on the wraparound was number 9 for the Kingston Voyageurs, Chris Hunt, the former Peterborough Pete. Hunt will pick it up now, losing it as Rob Mikolev takes it. Mikolev banking it off the boards, kept into the line. There's a shot by the defenseman Craig Boyce, number 6, and Paul Reed will hang on to that with 4:27 remaining. Face-off coming up to the left of goaltender Paul Reed. 4:27, the time remaining in the first period. Mark Palumbo out there for Henry Carr. As this is Frank Petroza getting set to take the draw against the Kingston player, number 16, Brandon Convery. 15 years old, Brandon Convery, touted as a top underage draft pick in the OHL draft coming up later in the year. There's cross-ice pass for Mark Palumbo. Palumbo will clear it to center. Knocked back to the Henry Carr line. Stewart finds a man at center. That'll be whistled down on the offside as Frank Petroza taking it on the 2-line offside. Face-off will come back into the Henry Carr zone just inside the blue line. 4:08 the time remaining in this first period. This game got underway at approximately 8:15. So, of course, this game being played on Friday, February 16th, coming to you today, Sunday the 18th. That's Convery leaving it behind the net for the defender. As Kingston will start out now. Brought down, will be a penalty to Henry Carr. Referee Dean Warren has called the Crusaders a delayed penalty. And slashing is the call on the Henry Carr player. That penalty coming at the 16:12 mark of the first period. Slashing to Glenn Stewart. And that will put 2 Henry Carr players in the box. So the Voyageurs will enjoy a 2-man advantage for the next 28 seconds with the face-off in the Carr zone. So Kingston winning the draw. Here's a chance now. Shot to the net, deflected just wide as Sean Reed will pick it up in the corner. He'll lose it. Dexter clearing it, but picked up by the Henry Carr player. That was Frank Petroza, and Petroza will send it the length of the ice. 11 seconds remaining in the first Henry Carr penalty. So Kingston has, for all intents and purposes, lost the 2-man advantage as they start out of their own end with the first penalty about to expire. 1:32 remaining in the second penalty as Jason Dexter will bring it over the line. Dexter in the corner setting up this power play. Now 5 skaters to 4. Rod Dexter with a shot. Loose puck in front. Looking for the deflection where the Voyageurs. Puck carries into the corner. Jason Dexter will pick it up. And high sticking is the call now. And that one will be assessed to the Voyageurs. So the power play is history as Brad Rousseau, number 8, taking the high sticking penalty in the Henry Carr zone on the power play. The type of penalty that coaches just absolutely hate. Penalties in the offensive zone are bad enough, but even worse when they come on the power play. So Brad Rousseau's high sticking penalty will nullify the manpower advantage, and Henry Carr will actually have a power play for 42 seconds after their current penalty, which is 1:18 remaining, expires. So the face-off coming outside the Henry Carr line. Both teams playing with 4 skaters now with 3:03 remaining in the first period, as this is Rob Mikolev going back behind the net. You, of course, are watching the Graham Cable 10 Rockies Athletic Wear Game of the Week. Tim Haffey with you. 3-0 to score. Henry Carr leading the Kingston Voyageurs. Mario Montanaro, cross ice for Mikolev. He finds Justin Peak at center. Long shot. Cleared into the into the Voyageur zone. Pika follows up, picks up his own rebound, knocks it in behind the net area. As Kingston will start out now, teams playing 5-a-side, 4 skaters apiece. As the Voyageurs get something going at center now, cleared into the far corner. Following up is Montanaro in forechecking. Jason Hogel, number 17, he of the long blonde locks. Hogel playing on the left wing tonight for the Kingston Voyageurs. Mike Taylor was the center on that line. Richard Beaubien, the right winger. But Mike Taylor, of course, one of 3 Kingston players ejected, one of 6 altogether ejected. Looking at the Henry Carr lineup out there now, Jimmy Izzard will take the draw against number 19, Jason Dexter. A couple of good ones there. Dexter gets the draw back at the point. Rink wide. Here comes a shot by Boyce. And that hit the stick of Mark Palumbo. Izzard picks it up, and he'll clear it out to center. Cross ice by the Kingston player. Picked up. Flipped ahead. As this is Palumbo clearing it up to John Johnson. Johnson at the line. Looking for Izzard, and the play whistled down on the offside. 1:59 the time remaining in the first period. Face-off coming outside the Kingston line. Henry Carr, 3-0 lead, looking for their 5th straight win and 13th in their last 14 games. Kingston coming off a 4-all tie last night with the Mimico Monarchs in Kingston. There's a shot by Johnston off the pads of Convery. Starting out on the right side now. Cleared down into the Henry Carr zone, and that's number 10, Dean Wilson, out there for Carr. Wilson will leave it for Izzard. Palumbo and Sean Reed, the defenders. Here's Izzard starting out now. Intercepted. Here's a chance for Dexter. He's got all the time in the world, but could not deke out Paul Reed, and penalty has been called. Cross-checking the call on, I believe, the Henry Carr Crusaders. So a heads-up play by Jason Dexter, making the steal on Jimmy Izzard. Izzard's passing attempt went off the skates of his teammate. And Jason Dexter in the right place at the right time, picking up the loose puck, going right in on goal, looking for the first Kingston score. Dipsy doodled in front of Paul Reed, but Reed would have no part of Dexter's fancy move, stood his ground, and made what turned out to be an easy save. Jason Dexter remains on the ice, the team captain for the Kingston Voyageurs. Mark Palumbo drawing the cross-checking penalty at the 18:34 mark. Cross-checking to Palumbo. Teams with 4 skaters apiece. That's Sean Reed taking his man out along the boards. Number 9, Chris Hunt in the corner there. Dug out now by Jason Dexter. Nice move by Dexter, driving the net, wrist shot, and that will go off Sean Reed. They follow up into the corner. Sean Reed digging it out. Reed clearing it along the boards, back of the point. 1 minute remaining in the penalty. Frank Petroza goes down, but not before he clears it to the line and out. Voyageurs will bring it right back. Drop pass. Tipped at the line. Henry Carr trying to clear it out. They finally do. Drop pass there for Richard Beaubien. Couldn't quite get to it. As Kingston will try it again with 37 seconds remaining in the period. They trail 3-0. At the line is Dexter. He's checked. As Henry Carr will get it. Pass behind the Carr player at the line. That was Glenn Stewart, as the Voyageurs will flip it out over the line. And here comes Richard Beaubien. Beaubien down the left wing. Pass to a teammate. This is Jason Dexter with it, looking for Beaubien in front of the net. That hit the Henry Carr player. Stewart will bank it off the glass, and that will carry the length of the ice as we see Brent Convery going down on one knee, leaving it behind the net. Only 8 seconds remaining in the period as the Voyageurs will clear it up into neutral territory. Mario Montanaro backpedaling there. There goes the buzzer. The first period is finally over. That one dragged out well over 45 minutes. The score after 1 period of play on this year Graham Cable 10 Rockies Activewear Game of the Week. The Henry Carr Crusaders leading the Kingston Voyageurs 3-0. We'll be right back with second period action from the Weston Lions Recreation Arena.
Sponsorship for this program is provided by Rockies Activewear. Rockies, the backbone of the country. Available at a national sports center near you.
The score after 2 periods of play here at the Weston Lions Arena, the Henry Carr Crusaders leading the Kingston Voyageurs 3-0 in this Metro Junior Hockey League game. 2 goals by Justin Pica, one by John Pallanti, establishing the Henry Carr lead in the first period. We've also seen 6 players ejected from this game as second period play gets underway. There's number 30, Brent Convery, the second goaltender for Kingston tonight, as Jason Chipman already ejected. Kingston coming out well over the line. There's a offside call at the Henry Carr line as Brad Rousseau, number 8, Brad Rousseau rather, bringing it in on the offside. Recapping the first period scoring is 7:55. It was Justin Pica from Natalie Macri and Kyle Merkley. At 8:29, Pica again from Macri and Merkley. And then at 13:03 was John Pallanti from Frank Petroza and Rob Mikolev. Justin Pica, or Natalie Macri and Kyle Merkley, each with 2 assists in this game. 2 of the 3 Henry Carr players, along with Jeff Carlton, that were thrown out of the game with game misconducts at the 14:40 mark. But Pica with the 2 goals, his 21st and 22nd goals of the season. And for John Pallanti with the 3rd goal, that was the 8th goal of the year in 28 games for John Pallanti. But Pica losing both his line mates, Macri and Merkley, in that first period brawl. There's Jimmy Izzard taking his man heavily into the corner, into the boards rather. That was Mofina, as the Kingston Voyageurs will bring it out now down the right side. Stood up with the line. Jimmy Izzard will take over. Good play by the Henry Carr defender, Sean Reed. Izzard flipping it out on the right side, clears into the Henry Carr zone. Back for it is number 18. That's Jeff Mofina. He's a 5th-year veteran Kingston defenseman. I understand Coach Kevin Abrams telling me that Mofina is St. Mary's Huskies bound next year. The St. Mary's Huskies he's very likely to be playing for them in the AUAA of the CIAU, Canadian University Hockey. Play whistle down in the Henry Carr zone is in the Kingston zone rather, as Brent Convery has covered up. 18:33 remaining in the first period. There's a look at number 15, Justin Pica, with 2 of the 3 Henry Carr goals tonight. Number 15 for the Crusaders. Face-off coming up to the left of Brent Convery. Crusaders get the draw, loose puck. But that's number 6, Craig Boyce, bringing it out for the Kingston Voyageurs. Boyce, the defenseman, gains the line, driving the net, tied up by a couple of Carr players. One goes down. Loose puck in the corner as the Voyageurs pick it up. Behind the net. Kingston digging it out in the corner, trying to set up in the Henry Carr zone, looking for their first goal of the game. Play behind the net. It's Rob Pallanti, had it there for Henry Carr, as now the Crusaders bring it out. Down the left side, clearing it into the Voyageurs zone, as that's number 6, Boyce back for it. Boyce will clear it to the line, but not out. Kept in, long, weak shot. And that's Convery covering up with 17:52 remaining. 3-0 the score. Face-off coming up in the Kingston zone. As the Henry Carr Crusaders look at the bench there, you see Doug Clark standing up. Doug Clark, one of the Henry Carr coaches. Doug had a brief whirl with the Calgary Flames of the National Hockey League, played some exhibition games for them. Never did crack the full lineup, but certainly a flirt with fame there for Doug Clark. Now a first-year assistant coach with the Henry Carr Crusaders, and Dean Warren has made an interference call here. Interference, the call, and that's Frank Petroza of the Henry Carr Crusaders making his way to the bench, or the penalty box rather. So Kingston will get another try on the power play. Face-off will be outside the Kingston zone, right in front of the Henry Carr bench. Time of the penalty is 2:17. Voyageurs now on the power play. They gain the face-off. That's Jeff Mofina with it. He'll be working the left point. Over on the right point will be Brad Dexter, but it's the Henry Carr Crusaders with the puck now. They clear it into the Voyageurs zone, and Brad Dexter takes it. Dexter shoveling it up on the right side, over the line, but knocked out by Henry Carr, and that will carry the length of the ice. 1:38 remaining in the penalty, as Convery will throw it over for Brad Dexter. That was Peter Miller of the Crusaders in there forechecking. Dexter getting it up at center, bringing it to the line. Here's Jason Hogel down the left side, stops, looking to set up. back at the point. Mofina with it, clearing it into the near corner. That's Jason Dexter with it. Dexter along the boards, looking for the man in front. Throws it in front. Loose puck, but the Crusaders pick it up, send it the length of the ice. And there we see Convery down on one knee, leaving it for the defender, Jeff Mofina. Mofina with Brad Dexter, the other point man. Jason Dexter is out there as well. Manning the right side is Richard Beaubien. Beaubien has it go off his stick and over the glass with 16:37 remaining in the period and 54 seconds left in this Voyageurs power play. Look at a couple of fans here at the Weston Lions Arena enjoying tonight's action. Judging by the smiles on their face, Henry Carr Crusader fans, as their team, or the Crusaders anyway, giving their fans a reason to smile with a 3-0 lead. And they've been doing it consistently for the last 13 games, 12 wins in the past 13. Looking for win number 5 in a row tonight. And a third win at Fort Rise versus Kingston. But the game is early yet. Early in the second period, 3-0 to score. By no means out of reach. The Kingston Voyageurs, one of the top teams in the Metro Junior Hockey League. In fact, they're the only team this year that has not lost to the Wexford Raiders. More on that in a few moments. Brad Rousseau, bringing it to the line. Battling the Carr players along the boards. Puck squirts loose. Picked up now. This is McNair with it. Hard shot. Bad angle, but Reed juggles it and makes the save with 14 seconds remaining in the penalty. And Coach Kevin Abrams saying one of the claims to fame of the Kingston Voyageurs, and when all things considered, an excellent Metro Junior Hockey League season for them, but 2 wins and a tie against the Wexford Raiders, who are well and above the top team point-wise in the Metro Junior Hockey League, but I don't imagine them having a record anything close to what Henry Carr's put together in the past 13 games. Wexford with a 29-4-7 record, 65 points. They are number 1 in the MGHL. No one can catch them. They've got a 14-point lead on these Voyageurs for first place in the Bauer division. Henry Carr, meanwhile, with 55 points, ranked number 2 in the league. A 4-point lead on the second place Thornhill Thunderbirds. Thornhill does have 1 game remaining. 1 game in hand with 7 remaining. The Carr with 6 remaining. So still a battle for first place between Thornhill and Henry Carr. Still a few more games to be won before Henry Carr can lay claim to that position. The penalty has expired, so Kingston not generating much of a power play in that manpower advantage. Give credit to the Henry Carr penalty killers. As the Crusaders will start out now. Long pass at center, clears the center ice circle down into the Kingston zone where that's number 4, Nate Bowles back for it. Flipping it up on the right side for Wayne Clark, number 15. And he'll leave it for Dexter. Dexter up to Rousseau. Peter Hunt with it, number 9, Hunt. Driving towards the net, skated out of the play by Sean Reed as Reed followed him all the way, taking him into the boards. Brad Dexter will keep it into the point, clearing it around behind the net. Back along the near boards and out and over the line as Brad Dexter will go back for it. Arnie Brown, the Henry Carr coach, waving his players to the bench. John Johnson hops onto the ice now. Here's a chance in front for Hunt. In a long backhand. And Paul Reed, the big save. The puck was loose behind him. There's a shot from the point. Just goes wide off the boards. Play getting rough in the Henry Carr zone. And what a great chance for Hunt. He put it behind Paul Reed. Reed reached back and saved it from going over the goal line. The best scoring opportunity of the evening so far for the Kingston Voyageurs. Here's Wayne Clark with it down the right side. Jason Dexter is with him. Dexter's now over the line. Clark looking for Dexter in front. There's the centering attempt, but Dexter was knocked off the puck, and the Crusaders bring it back. Long lead pass, too far for Glenn Stewart, and that will be called back with 13:54 remaining in this second period. Face-off will come up to the left of Paul Reed, the Henry Carr goaltender. Henry Carr on top on a pair of goals by Justin Pica and John Palanti. Let's just summarize the first period brawl. Took place at 14:40. The Crusaders losing Jeff Carlton, Natalie Macri, and Kyle Merkley with game misconducts. Actually, Macri and Merkley were handed double game misconducts. All 3 players got fighting. Carlton got a 2-minute charging penalty. The 4th Henry Carr player penalized in that altercation was Rob Palanti, who also got a 2-minute charging penalty. Jason Shipman, the goaltender, with a game misconduct, and Mike Taylor and Jamie Edwards, double game misconducts. for the Kingston Voyageurs. There's a shot from the point, knocked down, and Glenn Stewart will bring it out at center for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Stewart at the line, crisscrossing, moving it for Pika. There's a chance, and good chance by Justin Pika, looking for the hat trick. Save made by Convery. Pika again with it, overskates the puck, and the Voyageurs will bring it out to the line. Johnston touches it on the offside with 13:18 remaining here in the second period. This, of course, your Rockies Athletic Wear Graham Cable 10 Metro Junior Hockey League Game of the Week. Tim Happy with you. Our producer this evening is Mr. David Bradshaw, the director, John Seifert, and three gentlemen manning the cameras tonight: Sid Baker, Mark Pearson, making a return to our Henry Carr Crusaders broadcast after about a year absence, and Heath Powell also working the cameras this evening. That's Nate Bowles clearing it into the Carr zone, but the Crusaders have it now. This is their team captain, Sean Reed. Reed flipping it in to the Voyageur zone. Back to pick it up is Jeff Mofina. Mofina clearing it to Rousseau on the left wing. Dexter will knock it over. Nice hit there as play has been whistled down. Dean Warren is pointing at Jason Hogel, but actually not really pointing at it. was Jason Dexter. Not really pointing at Dexter, just signaling the location of the faceoff, and that will be inside the blue line with 12:53 the time remaining in the second period. Jason Dexter will take this draw against Frank Petroza of the Henry Carr Crusaders. Dexter out there centering Brad Rousseau and Derek McNair for the Voyageurs. This is Sean Reed with it. Reed will take the long slap shot wide on the short side, rebound, and that goes off the Kingston player Craig Boyce, as the Voyageurs will bring it out again. Dexter loses the puck at the line, and Henry Carr right back down the right side now, carrying into the zone. That's Brad Dexter fighting off the Henry Carr player. Loose puck, Petroza after it in the corner. Cleared along and up on the left side as Brad Rousseau will take it. Rousseau rink wide for Derek McNair. McNair over the line, leaves it, and picked up the loose puck, picked up with the Henry Carr player, and bring it right back they will. Petroza, slap shot, deflected. That went off the stick of Brad Dexter. Carries into the corner, Peter Miller with it. Miller behind the net, knocked off the puck. Boyce kicks it loose. Now Petroza has it, leaving it behind the net for Miller. Miller will one-hand it in front, but this is Brad Dexter getting his stick on it. Intercepted, driving the net. Palante throws it in front. Miller all tied up. Good check there by Brad Dexter. There's another chance as Montanaro rolls it wide. Loose puck in front, clear, and finally Brad Rousseau will relieve the pressure as Mario Montanaro drives it right back into the Kingston Voyageur zone. Flurry of action in the Voyageurs end. All sorts of great scoring opportunities for Henry Carr as Johnson will take it to the line. Johnson poke checked. Will come back out. Here's Boyce with it behind the net. Chance in front for the Crusaders. Knocked off the puck. Kept into the line, though. Cleared into the corner where John Johnson will take it. John Johnson centering it, tapped off Dexter's stick. And the Voyageurs will bang it off the boards down the ice. Icing is the call as Henry Carr all over the Kingston Voyageurs early in the second period. 11:09 the time remaining. Another look at the collection of fans here at the Weston Lions Recreation Arena here on just off Lawrence Avenue, west of Weston Road in Weston, Ontario, the home ice of the Weston Lions, of the Henry Carr Crusaders, rather. Mark Palumbo back for Henry Carr. Throws it over to Dean Wilson. Wilson's pass intercepted, knocked down by Hunt. Hunt will clear it into the Carr zone. Clear it around along the boards. Over on the far boards, the players battle for it. The Kingston player wins out, throwing it in front, but Dean Wilson will take over. Dean Wilson, right wing, long shot, puck rolling end over end into the Voyageur zone. Cleared over the glass. 10:37 now the time remaining. Upcoming games for the Henry Carr Crusaders. You're watching this game on tape delay this evening as you watch the Henry Carr Crusaders are back at home versus the Bromley Blues. Coming up Friday, February 23rd, the Crusaders will take on the Thornhill Thunderbirds. Vaughan Raiders at the Maple Arena on Saturday, February 24th. And they close out the season with two more home games. Sunday, February 25th versus the Oshawa Legionnaires. in the final regular season game Friday, March 2nd versus the Wellington Dukes at the Western Line Arena. Here's a chance in front. Pika, he scores! Now that's the hat trick for number 15, Justin Pika, as the Henry Carr Crusaders go in front 4-0. That goal coming at 9:32 of the second period. Justin Pika has given the Henry Carr Crusaders a 4-0 lead, and they are flying tonight. For Pika, his 23rd goal of the season through 31 games. Play in the neutral zone. Jimmy Izzard will take it. Izzard backhands it into the Voyageurs zone. Brad Dexter clears it out. Izzard will glove it. Here's Pika again. Pika across. Shot by Stewart wide on the far side. Now Mikolov winding up. Wrist shot. And Carberry will knock that down with a glove and cover up. Face-off coming up to the left of Convery. Brent Convery, the Kingston goaltender. Voyageurs win the draw. That's Brad Dexter behind the net. Muscled off the puck by Frank Petroza. Loose puck dug out now by Jason Dexter. It's got Carr players all over him, though, as Pallanti takes it. Pallanti into the far corner. Brad Dexter will pick it up off the boards to the line. Not out. Hammered right back in. Puck at the side of the net now is Petroza after it. Petroza in there with Pallanti. Pallanti throws it in front. Loose puck. There's Miller whistling it wide on the short side. Now Pallanti with it in the corner. Back behind the net for Petroza. Petroza and Pallanti. Pallanti trying to shovel it in front. Went off a skate. And now the Voyageurs will send it the length of the ice. And that will come right back on the icing. So some good work by the Henry Carr Crusaders. Number 24, John Pallanti and Frank Petroza making things happen in the Kingston Voyageurs end. And Justin Pika, the grade 13 student from Father Henry Carr School, not only plays for the Henry Carr Crusaders, but also attends the school with the hat trick tonight. Pika, a member of this Henry Carr Crusaders team last year as well, a veteran member of the team. 20 years old this season. Actually, he'll celebrate his 20th birthday on August 17th. So unless he can qualify as an overage next year, this could be his final season of Metro Junior Hockey League play. Mario Montanaro back forward in the Henry Carr zone. That's Montanaro still trying to get it out as Paul Reed will leave it behind the net. Montanaro picks it up. He's being hounded, though, by the Kingston player. Playing along the boards in the corner. Kingston gains possession. Now, good forechecking by the Voyageurs as their persistence paid off, and the Crusaders will finally clear it the length of the ice. Not enough steam on that one for icing, as that's Mofina back for it. Mofina with Bowles up on the right side now for McNair. McNair clearing it in. Paul Reed comes out of his net, leaving it for brother Sean Reed. Sean Reed now. Long pass for Glenn Stewart. That's offside, and Stewart upset, caught on the two line, but Stewart was in the clear had the linesman let that one go. Let's look at the Henry Carr recent results. An 8-game winning streak put together between January 5th and January 25th. The 8th win was a 5-3 win over the same Voyageurs at the Center 70 Arena in Kingston. The winning streak ended following an 8-7 loss at the Wellington Arena versus the Dukes. That one on January 28th, but the Crusaders have built it right back up. 4 wins in a row coming into tonight's game, the most recent, an 8-2 victory over the Markham Connection at the old Markham Arena on Sunday, February 11th. In fact, back-to-back victories over Markham. They beat the Connection 9-4 last Friday night right here at the Weston Arena. (2-0-1), the Crusader record against the Kingston Voyageurs. 5-5, the previous result here at Weston Lions Arena, as the Crusaders taking 5-3 and 5-4 decisions at the Centers 70 Arena in Kingston. Play whistle down with 7:21 remaining in the second period. 4-0 is the score on the hat trick by Justin Pica. John Pallanti with the other goal. Pica, his 21st, 22nd, and 23rd goals of the season for the Henry Carr Crusaders. His line mates, Natalie Macri and Kyle Merkley, thrown out of the game earlier. They drew a couple of assists on the first two Pica goals. Frank Petroza and Rob Mikolev, the assists on the John Pallanti goal. We don't have the assists on the third Pica goal, but we will have that for you in our second period scoring summary coming up after the period. Play along the boards now as the Crusaders will bring it in. Petroza follows up. Loose puck in the corner. Frank Petroza leaving it for John Pallanti. Nice move by Pallanti behind the net. Loose puck in front. They score. Beautiful setup by John Pallanti. A nifty little move, and then setting up Peter Miller for the goal as the Henry Carr Crusaders take a 5-0 lead now. That goal coming at 12:53 of the second period. Just approximately 3 minutes and 20 seconds after the last Henry Carr goal, and we'll give that one to Peter Miller. No question about that, on a very nice setup by number 24, John Pallanti. 5-0 to score, and the Henry Carr Crusaders firmly in control of this game. Looking for win number 3 in 4 games versus the Voyageurs. An understaffed Voyageurs team tonight. Only 14 skaters going into the game. That's been reduced to 12, what with the game misconducts. They now have 12 skaters and 1 goaltender. Henry Carr down to 17 skaters as they lost 3 players in the first period brawl. All right, Frank Petroza draws the second assist on the Peter Miller goal. John Pallanti, of course, getting the first assist, and that's at least 2 assists now for John Pallanti tonight. Frank Petroza, a couple. Well, actually, that's the assist combines for a goal and an assist for John Pallanti tonight, and for Frank Petroza, 2 assists. Peter Miller's first scoring point of the game. There's a hard wrist shot off the chest of Paul Reed. Crusaders will clear it to the line and out as Jimmy Izzard takes it. John Johnson over the line. Drop pass for Dean Wilson. Now picked up by another player as Brad Dexter intercepts for Kingston. His pass intercepted by Michael Buskey as Buskey will bank it off the boards and into the Voyageur zone where Convery will leave it for Brad Dexter. Dexter takes the hit from Johnson. Clear to the line. Kept in by Montanaro. He drifts it towards the net where that's number 6, Boyce taking it. Boyce clearing it to center. Here's a chance now for Jason Dexter moving it alone. Big chance. He's got a player all over him as Sean Reed tied up Jason Dexter. Good back checking by the defenseman Sean Reed as Jason Dexter, the 3rd leading scorer in the Metro Junior Hockey League, almost in alone on the breakaway. They'll freeze the puck along the boards with 5:17 remaining. In the second period, 5-0 is the score. Not dressed tonight for the Kingston Voyageurs, Marcel Richard. He's been out for 3 weeks with an ankle injury. Kevin Reed, who normally wears number 22, has been loaned to the Kingston Voyageurs affiliate team, the Greater Kingston Midget AAA team. And Mike Sizer, number 23, out with a wrist injury. So they're missing Marcel Richard, Kevin Reed, and Mike Sizer. Now, Kevin Reed, you might wonder, the team is understaffed. Why are they loaning this guy to the Greater Kingston Midget AAA team? Well, that was the deal with the AAA team there. The Voyageurs did agree to loan some players to them for the playoffs. They have honored that agreement, and that is the situation. But Coach Kevin Abrams working with a depleted lineup now. As here's a break for the Crusaders. Loose puck in front. Izzard got his stick on it. Izzard again. There's a wrist shot. And big save by Convery as he'll cover up on that one. Jimmy Izzard, ever dangerous. 24 goals this season. Second leading goal scorer for the Henry Carr Crusaders. He trails Glenn Stewart, who has 34, the leading goal scorer, but second is Stewart in points, 71-69. And strangely, we haven't heard from those guys tonight. point-wise anyway, and well, the way this game is going, a 5-0 lead, I imagine they will get into it eventually. Frank Petroza will take the draw, but just getting back to the Kingston Voyageurs, general manager and coach Kevin Abrams anticipating a full lineup for the playoffs. The Kingston Voyageurs will wind up their regular season March the 1st. They have 3 games remaining following tonight. The MGHL season doesn't end until March 6th, so they will have a good layoff before the playoffs start. They expect to get some of the injured players back. Hopefully Marcel Richard, they're looking to get him back, as well as Kevin Reed from the affiliate team, Mike Sizer, and a couple of other guys they've loaned to the affiliate team. So Kingston Voyageurs are a legitimate threat to take that division and possibly face Henry Carr or somebody else. Here's a break-in chance for Frank Petroza off the crossbar. Puck rolled in front of the net again now as Peter Miller takes it. Miller moving it in front, knocked off his stick. He's checked and now up at the line for Dexter, or rather Wayne Clark. Here's a chance in front, in alone, Dexter. Clark with the shot, and Paul Reed, a key save, preserving the shutout as the puck will carry the length of the ice. 4:04 remaining in the second period. So Wayne Clark and Jason Dexter combining for a good 2-man Kingston break, as this faceoff will come to the right of goaltender Paul Reed. Now, another thing Kevin Abrams was telling me before the game, if you look at Kingston in the Bauer Division standings, they've got 51 points. They're 6 better than the Oshawa Legionnaires. They are, in fact, 7 better than the 4th place Wellington Dukes. Now, first place is out of reach, but Kingston has a very tough schedule. They have 4 games, including tonight's, coming up against over 500 teams, while Oshawa and Wellington, the 2 teams chasing them, they have a whole mess of games against under 500 teams. Oshawa has 2 games in hand to boot, so they've got 6 games remaining, and Kingston has 5 games remaining. There's a chance in front for the Voyageurs, but Dean Wilson will bring it out for Henry Carr. So Kevin Abrams, not being pessimistic, but it'll be an accomplishment in itself for the Kingston Voyageurs if they can get the points they need to hang on to second place in that Bauer division. The schedule is not in their favor. As the puck carries into the Henry Carr zone. There's a chance in front. Big save by Reed. So Kingston are getting their share of chances, but not capitalizing on the opportunities as Justin Pika with the hat trick. There's a long shot off the protective equipment of Convery. Pika will backhand it into the corner. Chasing it is Izzard. Izzard always a threat, working with Pika. Leaves it for Stewart. Stewart steps around Dexter. In front for Izzard. Off his stick, and Convery will pounce on the loose puck. So Glenn Stewart and Jimmy Izzard throwing the puck around neatly in the Kingston Voyageur zone. We notice Justin Pika now playing with the 2 Henry Carr scoring leaders, Stewart and Jimmy Izzard. Well, Jeff Carlton, of course, thrown out of the game, along with Natalie Macri and Kyle Merkley back in the first period. So what Coach Arnie Brown has done is he's taken Pika and put him on the line with Glenn Stewart and Jimmy Izzard, as Pika lost both his line mates, Merkley and Macri. So that has become a new line tonight for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Frank Petroza is centering another line with Peter Miller on the right side and John Pallanti on the left side. They've been having a heck of a night. Pallanti and Miller each with a goal. So 2 goals from that line, while Merkley and Pika out of the game. I was going to talk about the third line, but you can forget about that one. We have John Johnson centering a third line with number 28, Mike Buskey, on the left side. Jimmy Izzard takes his man into the corner. Pika following up, gets the loose puck. Justin Pika behind the net, centering attempt. Stewart, he scores! Glenn Stewart. And Justin Pika, Jimmy Izzard, and Glenn Stewart combining neatly there as Glenn Stewart, 35th goal of the season. You know, in a high-scoring game like this, you know Glenn Stewart's eventually going to figure in the scoring, but a beautiful goal by Glenn Stewart. Justin Pika will draw the assist. That's his 4th point of the night. That goal coming at 17:48. So there's a look at Glenn Stewart, the leading scorer of the Henry Carr Crusaders. And Glenn Stewart, I'm told, That's a very good shot at an NCAA scholarship next year. 6-0 the score for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Glenn Stewart, one of 6 Henry Carr Crusaders players to play in the Metro Junior Hockey League All-Star game this year. So Pika will get one of the assists on the goal by Glenn Stewart. Late in the second period, 1:45 remaining, 6-0 the score. Miller will pick it up now. Miller out there with Petroza and John Pallanti. They've got a couple of goals tonight, this line. Pallanti and Miller with one each. Petroza trying to keep it in at the line. Kingston will pick it up now. This is Jason Dexter. Must be a frustrating night for him. He's lost, they've lost a key player, Mike Taylor. Jason Dexter leading the offense tonight. Too bad for the viewers that, or all of us, that of the 3 leading scorers in the Metro Junior Hockey League, only one of them seeing any real action tonight is Marcel Richard, injured, not dressed, and Mike Taylor, the league leading scorer, thrown out of the line. But we do have Jason Dexter left, wearing the number 19. 1 minute remaining in the second period. Kingston looking for their first goal. Good puck control now. You think they're on a power play, but they're not. As now the Crusaders take possession. Pass intercepted, but Miller will regain possession. Peter Miller driving, but that was number 24, John Pallanti, offside on the left wing. Hat trick from Justin Pika, John Pallanti, Glenn Stewart, and Peter Miller, the other goal scorers for the Henry Carr Crusaders. They enjoy that 6-0 lead, and there's a look at Craig Boyce, or there was a look of Craig Boyce, the Kingston Voyageurs defenseman, but a good look at Brent Convery, the Kingston Voyageurs goaltender, of course, coming in at the 14:40 mark of the first period. He's given up the last 3 Henry Carr goals, all the second period scores. Convery coming in relief of Jason Chipman, as Chipman was ejected with the fighting major, the roughing minor, and the game misconduct. Here's a chance. Hard shot. Well, would have been a hard shot based on the wind-up, but that's deflected over the glass with 37 seconds remaining in the second period. Henry Carr penalty, so Kingston will be on the power play. 1:56 remaining in this penalty. That's Hunt getting the draw. Hunt gets it back to Jeff Mofina. Chris Hunt, the former Peterborough Pete, coming to the Kingston Voyageurs after a stint with the Petes earlier this season. Cleared into the Voyageurs zone. That's Jeff Mofina with it. Mofina knocked off the puck, but his teammate Craig Boyce, or rather Nate Bowles, will take over. Bowles throws it up on the right side. Now here's a shot. Big save. Another shot, loose puck in front, and the Crusaders will take it. That first shot coming off the stick of number 17, Jason Hogel. Kept into the line by Mofina, and Dean Wilson will clear it out and down the ice. And there goes the buzzer. That's the end of the second period. After two periods of play, here at the Weston Lions Arena, the Henry Carr Crusaders all over the Kingston Voyageurs, 6-0. And this, of course, your Rockies Activewear Graham Cable 10 game of the week. We'll be right back with third period action. Henry Carr on top, 6-0.
Sponsorship for this program is provided by Rockies Activewear. Rockies, the backbone of the country. Available at a National Sports Center near you.
After 2 periods of play, the score, the Henry Carr Crusaders leading the Kingston Voyageurs 6-0 as third period action now getting underway here at the Weston Lions Arena. Tim Happy with you, and this is the Graham Cable 10 Rockies Athletic Wear Metro Junior Hockey League Game of the Week. Henry Carr clearly in control as this third period opens up. Crusaders looking at their 5th straight victory if this lead stands, and all indications it will. They have won 12 of their past 13 games heading into tonight's action. 3 goals in each period for the Crusaders this evening. Second period, Justin Pika scored the hat trick at 9:32. Peter Miller and Glenn Stewart followed, establishing the 6-0 lead. Here's a chance for Kingston, though, as that's Wayne Clark with it in the corner. Clark clearing it around into the near corner as Rob Mikolev will take a swipe at it. He gets it as far as the line, but no further. Brad Dexter flips it over the boards and into the Henry Carr bench. Second period scoring summary, 9:32. Justin Pica with the hat trick, is 23rd of the season. Glenn Stewart and Jimmy Izzard drawing the assists. Peter Miller with his number 19 with, let's look up Miller. How many goals has he got this year? His 9th of the season. Peter Miller from John Pallanti and Frank Petroza at 12:53 made it 5-0. Then at 17:42, Glenn Stewart, the team's leading scorer, is 35th of the year from Justin Pica and Jimmy Izzard to make it 6-0 for the Crusaders. John Pallanti also with a goal for Henry Carr tonight, that one coming in the first period. Paul Reed will leave it behind the net for brother Sean. Sean fights off a check, sends it the length of the ice. Kingston is on the power play, only 5 seconds remaining in that power play. As the penalized Henry Carr player now back on the ice, that's number 27, Frank Petroza, making his way to the bench. His play whistled down with 18:38 remaining in the third period. Upcoming games for Henry Carr. As you watch this on tape delay, the Henry Carr Crusaders are playing the Bromley Blues this evening at the Weston Lions Arena. Of their 5 remaining games, 4 are at home. They have the Thornhill Thunderbirds in town Friday, February 23rd. Puck will carry into the Henry Carr zone, called back on the icing. The game of the week will not be seen next week, but in its place will be the Cable 10 Telethon for the York Community Services. YCS offers health, legal, and social care for those in York who need it. And with your support, they'll be able to continue to offer these services. So watch the YCS Telethon Sunday, February 25th from noon to 8 o'clock right here on Graham Cable 10. We will have one more Henry Carr regular season game for you before the year's out. There's a shot from the point, and goaltender Convery will turtle and cover that one up. The Wellington Dukes are at the Weston Lions Arena versus the Crusaders on Friday, March 2nd. We'll have that game for you on tape delay Sunday, March the 4th, to close out our Henry Carr Crusaders regular season hockey schedule. Face-off in the Voyageurs zone. The Voyageurs will get the drop as Convery will leave it behind the net. Flipped up on the left side to the line and out, as this is Rob Mikalev back for it. Mikalev, long shot into the corner. Play along the boards. Picked up now by the Kingston player. And making his way to center, and all turned inside out there was, I believe, number 16, Brandon Convery. Play whistle down. Brandon Convery, of course, the 15-year-old who's expected to be a high pick in the OHL underage draft this year. So look for Brandon Convery most likely in an OHL uniform next season. 15-year-old centerman with the Kingston Voyageurs. Play up the line. Brought out now by Henry Carr. Henry Carr wheeling at center. Backhand pass picked up by number 27, assistant captain Frank Petroza. Petroza clears it into the near corner. Behind the net, there's John Pallanti. Loose puck in front, backhand, they score. And Frank Petroza will get that one with the assist from John Pallanti and make it 7-0 Henry Carr Crusaders. That goal coming at 2:48 of the third period. And for Frank Petroza, that's his first score of the season, but he's got first score of the game, rather, and 14th of the year. Frank's got a couple of assists in this game as well. All right, only one assist on the goal. Petroza from John Pallanti, and it's 7-0 Henry Carr at the 2:48 mark. 14th goal of the season for the right winger, Frank Petroza. And that score going along with 2 assists for him tonight. Puck clear to the line. The Voyageurs will send it into the Henry Carr zone. Back for it is Reed. Taken heavily into the boards and play whistled down. Actually, that was Rob Pallanti, not Reed, that was taken into the boards there. As the face-off coming up in the Henry Carr zone to the left of Paul Reed. Take a look at this Henry Carr lineup there now as John Johnson will take the face-off. He's got Mike Buskey on the right side and Dean Wilson, the forward line for the Henry Carr Crusaders. Buskey playing the left side, Wilson the right side, and Buskey will take it off the draw, clearing it out. Knocked right back in, though. Sean Reed out there with defense partner Rob Mikolev. Loose puck, Mikolev has it, eludes a check, throws it over to Wilson, back to Reed. Reed backpedaling behind his own net. We haven't really seen Sean Reed open up tonight. We've seen games where Sean Reed just dominated with end-to-end rushes. Hasn't really done that tonight, but there's still time. 7-0 the score. The Henry Carr Crusaders all over this terribly understaffed Kingston Voyageur team. Kept into the line by the Carr player. That was Mikolev keeping it in. Loose puck in the corner now. There's a chance out, but intercepted by the Kingston Voyageurs as they'll clear it to center. All tied up is the Kingston player as Rob Mikolev will take over for Henry Carr. A little shovel pass goes through a few players, and the Voyageurs will take possession now at center. Intercepted by Johnson. Johnson at the line, working around Boyce. Stops. Johnson working towards the net, throws it into the corner. Here's a chance in front, back behind the net. Wraparound attempt, and Convery will make the save on the wraparound attempt by the Henry Carr player, bringing it around the net and in front. That was Glenn Stewart, ever dangerous, number 23. Face-off coming up to the right of Brent Convery, and I don't know this for sure, but I'd say it's a good bet that he is Brandon Convery's brother, number 16, the centerman for the Kingston Voyageurs. Glenn Stewart will keep it in at the line, banking it off the boards, knocked down with a glove. Here's another chance, wrist shot, and Convery tested again. Taking no chances, he'll drop on that one. Taking a look at this Kingston Voyageurs' upcoming schedule, we mentioned how tough it was. You can write this game off. They're trailing 7-0 with 14:57 remaining. Coming up, the Oshawa Legionnaires, the Bromley Blues, and the Thornhill Thunderbirds. Good teams all. So it's a tough haul down the stretch for the Kingston Voyageurs, and they've got to do it with a depleted lineup. So as head coach and general manager Kevin Abrams saying before the game, they'll be happy if they can just hang on to second place. They've got a 6-point lead over Oshawa and 7 on Wellington heading into this evening's action. Face off to the right here as Brad Dexter will take it. Dexter getting it up on the right side. Kept into the line by Henry Carr, and Henry Carr have been successful at that all season. A lot of games we've seen, the hemming the other team in their own end. A lot of plays, a lot of times we see the Crusader defenders not really pinching in, but standing their ground at the blue line and keeping the puck from escaping. It's resulted in a lot of scoring opportunities for them and has frustrated in numerous breakout attempts for the Kingston Voyageurs this evening and in other games. This face-off will come just inside the Kingston side of center. Carr gets the draw. Long shot by Sean Reed. Petroza in pursuit, looking for the rebound. He'll follow into the corner, takes his man out. Petroza leaving it for Peter Miller. John Pallanti is out there as well. Miller will lose it. And here come the Kingston Voyageurs down the right side. This is a 3-on-3, but play broken up by Paul Reed, with the one handing it out over the line. Sean Reed, rather. Paul's the goaltender. As the Voyageurs will bring it right back in. Hard shot. What a windup that was. He put everything into it, did Jason Dexter. Puck was wide on the short side. Dexter throwing it in front. Mario Montanero will clear it away. Now here's Hunt behind the net for Dexter. That's Beaubien in front. But the Crusaders will clear it out as the line of Peter Hunt, Beaubien, and Jason Dexter putting some heat on Paul Reed. Richard Beaubien the right winger, number 20, Chris Hunt, not Peter Hunt, the right winger, number 9 for the Kingston Voyageurs. Now the Voyageurs will bring it over the line again as Wayne Clark was looking for number 8, Brad Rousseau. Passes behind him. Rousseau up along the boards, battling with Dean Wilson there and Mark Palumbo of the Crusaders. They will get a whistle. And another look at the assembled prongs here at Weston Lions Arena. We would anticipate most are Henry Carr fans, and Henry Carr not disappointing tonight. They've been on a real tear. Very good chance of these two teams meeting in the Metro Junior Hockey League Championship Final, as Henry Carr would at this point have to be favorites to win their division, while Kingston, with a healthy lineup, they're confident of being able to take a run at Wexford should they get that far. And of course, the two winners of the divisions, the Folin and the Bauer, will meet in the first Metro Junior Hockey League Championship. Metro Junior Hockey League in its first year of operation. A lot of former Metro Junior B teams in this league, but it's a first official year of operation as the MJHL 12-team loop. And there's a look at number 16, Brandon Convery, who we talked of earlier, the 15-year-old from the Kingston Voyageurs. And that's got to be his brother Brent in goal. Jason Dexter will take the draw for Kingston. Well, after all that slapping, the Henry Carr player wins the draw. Mario Montanaro will take it behind the net. Up on the left side for Jimmy Izzard. That's Nate Bowles clearing it back in. Montanaro backhands it off the boards. Nate Bowles will go down to stop it. Bowles will clear it in. Back to Montanaro. He brings it down with the glove. Montanaro finds Izzard at center. Right wing now as Justin Pica with the hat trick. Over the line, drop pass. Stewart will keep it in. Stewart driving the net right in. And just wide was Glenn Stewart, looking for his second goal of the game and possibly his 36th of the season. And a 40-goal season not outside the realm of possibility for Glenn Stewart. In fact, it is a very strong likelihood. Rob Pallanti getting it up to Jimmy Izzard. Off his stick. Picked up by Jason Hogel. Now Pallanti will take it. Rob Pallanti clearing it in. This is Nate Bowles back for it. Bowles stopping up on the left side. Jason Hogel with it. And the Voyageurs very smartly bringing it out of their own zone. Sean Reed will just as smartly take it off Bowles' stick, as the Voyageurs will have to regroup now at center. They'll clear it in, but Izzard gets his stick on that, and Jimmy will flip it into the Kingston end right on net, so no icing as Brad Dexter will take it. That will count as a shot on goal. There's a hard shot from the point. That one whistles wide. That coming off the stick of Sean Reed. Now Miller takes it. Miller looking for a guy in front. Back to the line, and that will carry out over the line and down into the Henry Carr zone. As here come the Kingston Voyageurs. Bumping in the corner is Rob Mikolev. And number 10, number 20, Richard Beaubien. With 10:45 remaining in this third period, and 7-0 is the score. This game over, I'd say the turning point was Justin Pica's goal at 9:32 of the second period. That made it 4-0. Not really the turning point, but game pretty well out of reach at 9:32 of the second when Pica made it 4-0. There was still time remaining for Kingston at that point, half a game to get the 3 goals back, and it's just been all Henry Carr ever since. Penalty coming up now as referee Dean Warren signals the hooking call. And the hook has been assessed to Brad Dexter, the Kingston Voyageurs defenseman. So Henry Carr with a chance to further up this lead. They lead at 7-0. They'll also get the face-off in the Kingston zone. And who do they have out on the power play? Well, they've got Mikolev and Sean Reed working the points. Peter Miller. .9:22 the time of the hooking call on Brad Dexter as Frank Petroza gets the draw out there with John Pallanti and Peter Miller. So they're keeping the line intact. Petroza back to Mikolev at the point. Mikolev setting up, avoids a check, gets it over to Sean Reed at the other point. Reed throws it into the corner. Back to Mikolev. There's the shot. Man in front, rebound, they score. That was Frank Petroza with the goal. As it's 8-0, Henry Carr, and for Frank Petroza, his second goal of the period and second of the game, that one coming on the power play. 9:42, the time of that power play goal for Frank Petroza and the Henry Carr Crusaders, 8-0. Petroza's 15th goal of the year. We'll just wait for the official call on the assist. I think we can give one to Mikolev. He blasted that original shot from the point. Rob Pallanti gets it up to Buskey. Johnson following up now. Well, Pallanti from Petroza is the goal, so we'll give it to John Pallanti, number 24, and that is his second goal of the game from Frank Petroza. For Pallanti, his 8th goal of the year, well, actually his 9th. He's got 2 goals on the game. So a 2-goal performance from John Pallanti tonight, so he's one away from a hat trick. Justin Pica already has the trick, while Peter Miller and Glenn Stewart with the singles, and John Pallanti having a big night. 2 goals and 2 assists, a 4-point night for both himself and line mate Frank Petroza, a goal and 3 assists for Petroza. Justin Pica also a 4-point evening for the Crusaders, 3 goals and 1 assist, number 15 Pica. As this is John Johnson taking the draw for Henry Carr. He will leave the face-off circle, and in will come Mike Buskey, the Kingston player, thrown out as well. So Buskey will take the draw. Buskey working this, Buskey, the left winger on this line with center John Johnston and the right winger Dean Wilson. Mark Palumbo with it. He's out there with number 26, Rob Pallanti, the Henry Carr defense pair. Brought in over the line by Kingston. They'll slide it towards the net. Paul Reed will flip it over on the left side for Michael Buskey. Buskey a rink wide, a little too far for Dean Wilson, but he'll follow up on it. Stop behind the net. Dean Wilson picks it up behind the net, looking for the guy in front, but the Kingston player gets a stick on it. And Dean Warren has stopped play. One of the Kingston players is down on the ice. That's number 18, Jeff Mofina, the defender. Jeff Mofina, a 5th-year veteran, will be playing for the St. Mary's Huskies in the AUAA next season. So Arnie Brown, the head coach of the Henry Carr Crusaders. Arnie Brown, the former National Hockey League player with the New York Rangers, Toronto Maple Leafs, where he started his NHL career, New York Islanders, Atlanta Flames. This team has really turned itself around under Arnie Brown. They weren't too bad under the previous coach, but it's hard to argue with the record that Arnie Brown has put up on the board since taking over, especially the recent record. Arnie's got spread the scoring out throughout the lineup. Players from all 3-4 lines are scoring regularly. Team defense has improved considerably. The Henry Carr Crusaders have become an awesome force in this Metro Junior Hockey League. Virtually unbeatable. A lot of one-sided results. This will be yet another one-sided result. 8-0 the score. As the Voyageurs bring it in on the offside. So look at Rob Mikolev, the Henry Carr defenseman. As Mikolev goes to the bench. Face off outside the Carr line. They'll get the draw as Rob Pallanti takes it. Back behind the net. In front, off the inside of the post. No goal. Good chance for Henry Carr there to make it 9-0. Sean Reed will take it at center, flipping it in. Brad Dexter goes back for it. Dexter bumped off the puck. Back to the blue line, kept in by Sean Reed. So those Carr defensemen standing their ground to the blue line. Now it squirts loose, carrying into the Crusaders zone as Rob Pallanti will bang it off the boards. Intercepted and kept in, but Frank Petroza takes over. He's looking for Miller down the left wing. Miller giving chase. Miller carrying on into the boards. Miller trying to dig it out. Now he's got it in his feet. Peter Miller, as the Voyageurs will pick it up now behind the net, clearing it around on the near boards. Beaubien there, hovering at the blue line, looking to pick it up. But the Voyageurs still trying to work it out from behind the net area. Now Henry Carr makes the steal as the Voyageurs cough up the puck in their own end. There's a backhand attempt. Loose puck in front. The splits, and Convery will stretch his body to cover up on that one. As Kingston under real pressure, very inept getting it out of their own end in that particular sequence, nearly resulting in a ninth Henry Carr goal. Arnie Brown, head coach with the Henry Carr Crusaders. First-year head coach, took over from Lou Carnavale midway through this season. There's a shot from the point by Palumbo. Now the Voyageurs will start out. They take possession at center. Palumbo stands his man up, and Palumbo and Wayne Clark, the Voyageur player, some bad blood there, as Mark Palumbo picks it up, banks it off the boards, and Mark will head to the bench. No, Mark will stay on the ice as the Voyageurs centering pass at center, offside, with 6:37 remaining in the third period. Henry Carr in front, 8-0. And just talking about Arnie Brown, played for the Leafs, Rangers, Red Wings, Islanders, and Flames through an illustrious National Hockey League career. And Arnie Brown coming to the Henry Carr Crusaders this season in place of Lou Carnavale. And Arnie Brown, a former head coach with the Streetsville Derbies in the Central Ontario Junior B Loop between 1987 and 1989. Also coached the Bromley Blues in the Metro Junior B League between 86 and 87. Arnie Brown, incidentally, if anybody has the Hockey Hall of Fame calendar this season, he's featured on the February calendar. There's a good shot of Arnie Brown taking out Bobby Orr, checking Bobby Orr of the Bruins behind the New York Ranger net. So if anyone's looking for a good action shot of the Henry Carr coach, pick yourself up a Hockey Hall of Fame official calendar. It's got all sorts of vintage photographs in color of former great NHL Hockey Hall of Famers. As Glenn Stewart takes it over the line, he's checked, and that's Convery going down yet again. And Brent Convery, not exactly your stand-up goaltender. He's been flopping on that puck all night. Convery will be tagged for the last 5 Henry Carr goals, as Jason Chipman let in the first 3 before being ejected. And there's a good shot of Mr. Arnie Brown, the former NHL great. Played defense with Harry Howell in his heyday with the New York Rangers. Howell, the last defenseman to win the James Norris Trophy before Bobby Orr won 8 in a row. As here come the Voyageurs. Fanning on the shot was Beaubien, but he was in alone. Hogel with it behind the net. Hogel knocked off the puck by Izzard. Beaubien follows up. Beaubien behind the net, but Henry Carr's checking is just relentless, as that was Sean Reed really quite easily knocking Beaubien off the puck. Izzard taking some stick work from Beaubien now as he brings it into the Voyageur zone, and Convery down on his knees again, covering up. Really good shot of Arnie Brown there. Doug Clark in the background, his assistant coach. Kelly Holoka is the other Henry Carr Crusader assistant coach. Norm Lacoste, the athletic therapist. Don McLean, the team general manager. Here come the Voyageurs. Starting out left wing. Pass at center now as they break it down the right side. Avoiding the check there was Wayne Clark. Clark takes the hit. Didn't avoid that one from Frank Petroza. And Jason Dexter picking himself up off the ice now as well. Melanti takes his man out along the boards. Petroza fighting for it. Now Dexter has it. And good check in front as there's a chance in front. Great chance. They score finally. Jason Dexter, ever patient, flipping it over. Paul Reed, and Dexter made no mistake on that one. There was a delayed penalty against Henry Carr as well in the play. That will be waved off as I don't know what that was for, possibly elbowing. But finally, the Kingston Voyageurs get on the board. It took them to the 15:27 mark, but Jason Dexter breaks Paul Reed's shutout. So good game from Paul Reed. 55 minutes and 27 seconds of shutout hockey, finally broken by Jason Dexter, the third leading scorer in the Metro Junior Hockey League. And for Dexter, his 28th goal of the season, 82 points on the season. So he'll pull within 6 of teammate Marcel Richard for second place in the overall scoring. Mike Taylor, who was ejected from the game in the first period with 100 points, has a healthy lead on Richard for the league lead. So Paul Reed ever so close to that shutout. Now here's the official call. So Wayne Clark and Chris Hunt draw the assists on the goal by Jason Dexter. So Paul Reed got to be a little disappointed about coming so close to a shutout. Face off to the left of Brent Convery. That's Brandon Convery taking the draw. There's a shot by Henry Carr right on. 8-1 the score now in favor of the Henry Carr Crusaders as the puck is behind the net. Kingston bringing it out now off the boards. Cleared out to the line. Picked up now by number 22, John Johnson. Johnson, wrist shot, off a leg, goes wide, and kept into the line now by Rob Mikolev. Mikolev, drop pass for Dean Wilson. Wilson wristing it wide. That'll carry over to the near boards, and knocked out to center where Mikolev will take over again. Mikolev to Dean Wilson. He one-times it in, picked up by the Kingston player. The Voyageurs centering pass, or pass to center as Glenn Stewart will pick it up, stepping around a couple of players. Stewart, wrist shot, and Convery will hang on to that one. 3:30 remaining in the third period. 8-1 the score. Henry Carr on top. Jeff Carlton, one of the 3 Henry Carr players kicked out of the game earlier in the first period. He came to the Henry Carr Crusaders from the Richmond Hill Rams in a midseason trade. Dwayne Thompson and Pino Albanese, the 2 Carr players going to Richmond Hill for Jeff Carlton. Big physical scoring winger. But unfortunately, we haven't seen much of him tonight because of the first period ejection. And Rob Mikolev, a player we have seen a lot of. Penalty there, you see, to the Kingston Voyageurs, as that's number 20, Beaubien, the right winger, getting the gate. Richard Beaubien. So Henry Carr on the power play now as they throw it behind the net. 3:27 remaining in the third period. Kingston bringing it out to the line, but not quite out. That was Brad Dexter failing to get it out, number 2. But this time they do. Shot right back in by the Crusaders into the far corner as that's number 6, Craig Boyce, going back for it. Backhand shot just wide. Play in the corner again. Picked up by the Crusaders player. There's a chance in front just wide as Henry Carr putting on the pressure on this power play. Well, coincidental minors is the call, actually, so we're not looking at a power play. It appeared to be a power play. There's 2 players in the box. Beaubien and I believe Palumbo is the Henry Carr player. It's nice stick work there by Sean Reed. Reed gets it up to Glenn Stewart on the left wing. Izzard with it back to Stewart. Stewart following into the corner, taken out by Brad Dexter. Izzard behind the net, throwing in front, shot by Pika, and that one's in. Goal, Justin Pika, his 4th of the game, and Pika picking the top left-hand corner. Beautiful passing attempt, or passing play by Jimmy Izzard, and Make it 9-1. Henry Carr, that goal coming at 17:32. So it's Mario Montanaro who is in the penalty box for the Henry Carr Crusaders, not Mark Palumbo. As Justin Pica, his fourth of the game, and make that 24 on the season. 5-point night for Justin Pica. 4 goals and 1 assist. As the puck will come back into the Henry Carr zone as Mark Palumbo picks it up. He'll send it the length of the ice. Icing has been signaled and called with 2:14 remaining. So Pica from Izzard and Stewart, the Henry Carr goal. So make it 9-1. As Frank Petroza brings it out. Petroza up on the right side for Peter Miller. Miller back to Petroza. There's the shot, just wide on the far side. That will carry off the boards, and now here come the Kingston Voyageurs. Wayne Clark bringing it over the line, trying to do it himself, leaves it there as he had 3 Crusaders all over him. As Chris Hunt will send it cross ice into the Carr zone, as Rob Mikolev will go back for it. Mikolev, coming from Michigan Tech University, spent 3 years there before joining the Crusaders. He also played with Arnie Brown before, back when Brown was coaching the Bromley Blues. In the corner now, looking for the man in front. John Pallanti there, some pushing and shoving in front of the net as the Voyageurs will clear it down the ice. Paul Reed stops it. Sending it over for Mikolev. Mikolev steps around Rousseau. Kept in by the Voyageurs. There's a centering attempt as Jason Dexter and Brad Rousseau were both in the area. Now here's Mikolev with 1:08 remaining. Getting it up on the right side for Peter Miller. Miller will flip it to the line and out, but picked up by Brad Dexter. Dexter to Derek McNair. 1 minute remaining in the game. Peter Miller with it. Miller throwing it into the Kingston zone. Boyce picks it up. Craig Boyce throwing it over on the right side. Now here's Dean Wilson for Henry Carr. Wilson clearing it into the Kingston zone. 9-1 is the score. The Henry Carr Crusaders will win this one. This will improve the record to 25-7-7, give them 57 points and a 6-point lead on the Thornhill Thunderbirds, who are not playing this evening. Bringing it in. Here's a good chance for Kingston driving the net. There's a shot and a big save by Paul Reed off the stick of Brad Rousseau. John Johnson throwing it over now. Here's Dean Wilson. Slop shot. That one's wide. 10 seconds remaining in the game. Kingston trying to clear it out. They'll take a few whacks at it. 2 seconds remaining at center. There goes the buzzer, and this game is history. Make it 5 wins in a row for the Henry Carr Crusaders and 13 wins in their past 14 games. The final score, the Henry Carr Crusaders drubbing these Kingston Voyageurs 9-1. So for Kingston and Henry Carr, their 4th and final meeting of the season, Kingston will fail to gain a victory against Henry Carr. Henry Carr winning 3 and tying 1 in this season series. A win and a tie in the 2 games here at the Weston Lions Arena. Third period scoring summary. 3 goals for the Henry Carr Crusaders. 1 for the Kingston Canadians. Frank Petroza, John Pallanti, and Justin Pica scoring for the Crusaders in that third period, while Jason Dexter at 15:27, the lone goal for the Kingston Voyageurs, his 28th of the season. That breaking the shutout by Paul Reed at the time. Scoring star for the Henry Carr Crusaders tonight, Justin Pica. 4 goals on the evening to go with 1 assist. Also of note tonight, John Pallanti had a couple of goals for the Henry Carr Crusaders. The other 3 goals coming from Peter Miller, Frank Petroza, and Glenn Stewart. The scorers for the Henry Carr Crusaders, and of course Jason Dexter, the lone goal for the Kingston Voyageurs. John Pallanti and Frank Petroza, we should mention them as well. 4-point nights for them. Pallanti picking up a couple of goals and a couple of assists. And Petroza, there we see the Henry Carr Championship banners, OHA Metro Junior B League champions 3 years ago. And We see champions from 82, 83. But the final score here tonight, 9-1. The Henry Carr Crusaders, clearly the dominant team in the Metro Junior Hockey League now, with 5 games remaining in their regular season. They're looking good as they close out these final games leading up to the Metro Junior Hockey League playoffs. So once again, the final score here from the Weston Lions Recreation Arena in Weston, 9-1, the Henry Carr Crusaders over the Kingston Voyageurs. Before we go, I should mention the game of the week will not be seen next week. In its place will be Cable 10's telethon for the York Community Services. YCS offers health, legal, and social care for those in York who need it, and with your support, they'll be able to continue to offer these services, so watch for the YCS telethon. That's Sunday, February 25th, noon to 8 p.m. We will have one more Henry Carr Crusader regular season game. That one we will broadcast for you Sunday, March 4th. It'll be a tape delay of the Friday, March 2nd game between the Wellington Dukes and the Henry Carr Crusaders. So there's always a very interesting shot. Sid Baker, our cameraman, has worked his way right into the Henry Carr dressing room. And on that note, from the Henry Carr Crusaders saying goodnight, we'll say goodnight on behalf of the entire Graham Cable Kent crew tonight. Our producer was Dave Bradshaw, our director John Seifert. On the cameras tonight, Sid Baker, Mark Pearson, and Heath Powell. This is Tim Happy saying goodnight from the Weston Lions Recreation Arena in Weston.